Has Mojtaba Khamenei's revenge officially begun? As Iran's dangerous cluster bombs relentlessly rain down entirely on Israel? A deeply panicked central Israel is severely battered by Iran's incredibly deadly ballistic missiles during this massive fresh attack. A chilling new video graphically shows the exact terrifying moment Iran's highly deadly cluster bomb suddenly strikes Israel. Will Mojtaba Khamenei's ascension to ultimate power genuinely make Iran's heavily armed military forces entirely unstoppable? Panicked and desperate Israel aggressively begins a genuinely massive fresh wave of destructive airstrikes heavily across vital Iran sites. American troop losses continue to dangerously mount for Donald Trump as this terrifying conflict rapidly enters an entirely deadlier new phase. Iran continues to launch waves of heavy ballistic missiles and long-range drones toward Israel as the expanding regional conflict officially enters its second full week of intense hostilities. In the most recent wave of incoming Iranian missile strikes, at least one Israeli citizen was confirmed killed and at least 2 other individuals were reported to be seriously injured. The individual who was tragically killed by the incoming Iranian strike ultimately succumbed to severe injuries right after a commercial construction site was directly hit by the blast. An Iranian ballistic missile reportedly deployed a cluster munition warhead directly over central Israel during the 7th major missile Salvo launched since the late hours of March 8. The reported Iranian cluster munitions struck at least 6 separate physical locations spread across the central Israeli region, including populated municipal areas of Holon and Bat Yam. Multiple videos circulating online appeared to show the physical impact of alleged Iranian cluster bomb munitions striking various civilian areas across Israel on the morning of March 9. Large impact craters were clearly visible on the ground, while multiple parked vehicles and residential buildings in central Israel were visibly damaged by the series of loud explosions. Israeli military alleged that Iran intentionally launched advanced ballistic missiles carrying specialized cluster bomb warheads during the latest attacks, according to multiple news reports. The latest organized wave of Iranian military strikes also simultaneously targeted areas located in southern and northern Israel, operating entirely apart from the strikes directed at the country's center. Simultaneously, the Lebanon-based proxy group Hezbollah also actively fired multiple salvos of unguided rockets and explosive drones directed at northern Israeli territory on the day of March 9. Official Iranian state media hailed the coordinated missile strikes on Israel occurring immediately after Mojtaba Khamenei's formal ascension to the supreme leadership. Iran has officially fired its first major wave of retaliatory missiles directly under the new supreme leadership of Mojtaba Khamenei, the Iranian state TV broadcaster stated. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps quickly issued a public statement to officially confirm their direct involvement in the major military attack launched on the day of March 9. The IRGC confirmed it actively launched multiple ballistic missiles, accompanied heavily by numerous waves of explosive suicide drones aimed at various regional targets. Earlier in the conflict, Iranian military officials had publicly claimed that the nation was intentionally saving its more advanced and modern missile systems for later stages of the war. In direct military retaliation, Israel Defense Forces are currently escalating their campaign of heavy airstrikes explicitly directed against the Iranian capital city of Tehran and surrounding regions. The IDF officially claimed it successfully struck multiple military bases belonging to the Iranian paramilitary Basij force and the IRGC located in Iran's central province of Isfahan. The Israeli military also stated it successfully struck a major operational command center that was actively being used as a primary coordination base by the elite IRGC forces. The Israeli Air Force claimed the extensive new wave of regional airstrikes is specifically designed to systematically target and degrade the Iranian regime's core military infrastructure. On March 8, the IDF also issued a public warning stating that it would actively hunt down any individual officially named to serve as the late Ayatollah Khamenei's supreme successor. Meanwhile, official casualty numbers continue to slowly mount for deployed U.S. military troops as the ongoing cycle of Iranian regional retaliation against Allied positions continues to rage on. The U.S. Central Command released a statement announcing another American soldier's unexpected death occurring at a military installation located in Kuwait on the day of March 6. CENTCOM officials stated that the deployed U.S. National Guard soldier unexpectedly died while experiencing an unspecified, sudden medical emergency while stationed at the regional base. This latest military casualty effectively takes the total number of American soldiers officially recorded as killed during the Trump-Netanyahu war against Iran to exactly 8 personnel. On March 7, CENTCOM had previously revealed that another U.S. soldier succumbed to injuries and died in Riyadh in the immediate aftermath of earlier Iranian missile strikes. Vice President J.D. Vance formally spoke during a public address on Monday, officially saying that the 7th courageous U.S. service member tragically killed in combat will be coming home tonight to their grieving family.
I want to just start on a slightly somber note here because on a personal level, I was honored to be able to participate in the dignified transfer of 6 American soldiers who were killed overseas in this conflict with Iran. And I had never done that before, and a lot of you served our nation in uniform. I know a number of our firefighters have all across our country. And I just want to say that if you are the praying type, and I certainly am, I hope you'll spare a prayer for the 6 souls that we lost, for the 7th soul who will be coming home tonight, and for all of their families. You all know better than almost any category of Americans what it means to put on a uniform and to sacrifice for our country. And so I hope you'll share a moment of prayer for our brothers in arms, for your brothers in arms who keep this country safe in their own way, just as you keep the country safe in your particular way. You know, my own mother struggled with opioid addiction for a very large chunk of my life. And I remember when she was having a particularly dark moment and she needed some help. I needed some help. Our family needed some help. I picked up the phone, I called 911, and a number of brave, professional, compassionate firefighters from Middletown, Ohio showed up. And they calmed my mom down, and they made it possible for us to go on with the rest of our day. They made a kid who was scared to death feel like he had an ally in this world. I will never forget that. I will never forget also when we had to call 911, it wasn't a firefighter, it was an EMT who came and took my mom to the hospital because she had had a very terrible overdose. And I remember holding her hand, hoping to God that she would be okay, that she would wake up. We know a lot of our people have not woken up when they have those opioid overdoses, but by the grace of God, my mom did wake up. And by the way, she's now been clean and sober for north of 11 years. We celebrated her 10-year sobriety. Thank you.
$25 करोड़ गरीब गरीबी को परास्त करके बाहर निकले।
For the good of our nation, let's work together and let's truly make America great again.
The fastest news breaks.
Requested PM saying that look, you will have to speak to Putin and to Zelensky.
The biggest news makers.
The relationship with India is probably the most important bilateral relationship the U.S. will have for the rest of this century.
The capital delivered quite an election result today.
Expert analysis.
The million-dollar question today is how to stop this dance of death.
Ground reports.
I'm standing at the crossroad of the Kumbh Mela. Behind me are more than 100 entry ghats.
Long-form interviews.
Exclusionary politics is reflected in Manipur case as well. You don't bother because this is a small state.
Deep dive into burning issues.
It's often said DRC could be the richest country in the whole world. It's because of what sits underneath.
Why exactly did the US topple the Sheikh Hasina government?
HD videos. We don't just break news, we break it down.